Hi guys, welcome back. It's RODEX, and the plan for this video is to cover these three videos right here, 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see, this video here got 1.2 million likes, so which means it probably got like 10 million views. So I'm gonna cover this one first, second, and then this one last, because as you can see, it's really important. But the original plan was to cover only this one video, so I'm gonna start with it, and we're gonna have some fun with the Kung Fu Panda one. So let's begin. Actually, before I play the video, this video is very important to me because I found it about 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago is a time when I was really struggling with doing what I wanted to do on time, right? It's like everything I wanted to do, I couldn't do it on time, but no matter what, the school projects, I would do them on time. Like on the due date, you would catch me with the project like done and ready, perfect and everything. But it didn't make sense to me because the things that I cared about, the things that I care about more than school, I couldn't do them on time. So it didn't make sense to me, like, what's happening, bro? The things that I actually really care about, I can't do them on time, but school things, I always do them on time. So it didn't make sense to me. So this is something that really resonated with me and related with me, and this is the whole reason I'm doing this whole video. And I even changed the whole format of the videos that I do only for this video. So let's cover it. This is Brian Tracy, if you don't know, millionaire, successful and everything.
Set a deadline. You see, a goal without a deadline is not really a goal at all. A goal without a deadline is an exercise in self-delusion. Set many deadlines and establish a reward schedule. This is one of the most important findings in psychology, is establish a reward schedule. And we find that many of the most successful men and women that we've studied have little games with themselves. If it's nothing more than every 3 phone calls, they give themselves a jelly bean. Or every 2 appointments that they get, they give themselves a cup of coffee or a walk outside.
As you heard,
Set a deadline.
a goal without a deadline is not really, it's an exercise in self-illusion. Okay, so to be honest, let me explain the part that I caught and how I implemented it into my life. What he's talking about is that as humans, we need something to like be driving us. You know, like that whole image of a donkey chasing a carrot. Okay, let me just do it real quick. Donkey chasing carrot. Okay, yeah, something like this. This is you. This is what you need right here, to be chasing a carrot. So yeah, more perfect. This is what you need right here, to be chasing a carrot. Now that's exactly what he's talking about, that if you have a goal and then you give yourself a reward at the end, like, you're definitely going to meet that goal because you're always like wanting that reward, right? But one thing that I've also been challenged about, and that I also often challenge myself about, is what if there is no reward, right? We all know sometimes it's hard to make a reward for yourself, and sometimes it can get boring. Like, okay, there's a reward, okay, week 1, week 2, week 3, but at the end of like 2 years, you get bored of the reward, right? Unless if you keep on switching it up. So the way that I've noticed that it works with the school example that I gave and how I applied it is that at the end of the day, there was something to avoid, right? And as I said, I'm going to explain this with food. I'm going to explain it with food, right? Let's say you have this favorite fruit that you like. Let's say you like grapes, strawberries, or a banana, pineapple, whatever fruit that you like, think about it. But for the sake of everyone relating, I'm going to use grapes because everyone likes grapes, right? Okay, so let's say you have grapes that you like and you're at school or at work and you knock off at 5, right? And you know for sure it's like there's this like thing that's gonna happen at 6 o'clock. Your grapes are going to suddenly just rot and worms are gonna be just swimming in them and just growing and doing all sorts of things, right? And mind you, grapes are your favorite food to eat, right? But you're at school or you're at work and you knock off at 5. On that day, you make sure that by 6 o'clock you are home and those grapes are finished, right? Think about it. You may get home at 10 to 6 or 5 to 6, but you'll find a way to finish those grapes, right? You stuff them in your mouth. By the end of the day, when it's 6 o'clock, like, you're opening that door, running in and making sure those grapes are stuffed in your mouth and done and gone, right? Because you like grapes and you don't want that last batch of grapes to rot. One thing that you have to notice that I also think he really didn't touch on or go deep on is the whole factor of consequences. If you think about it, bro, people will do anything to avoid consequences. A very good example, this may even be you. People go to church only because they want to avoid going to hell, bro. And this is reality. It may sound crazy or stupid or whatever, but 80, a lot of people, okay, are living life this way, bro. They only go to church to avoid going to hell, right? Because they don't want to deal with the consequence at the end of the day. So this is one thing that I noticed with me in school. Bro, that project is being done by the deadline because I don't want to deal with the consequences of not having my project done, which is failing the class and having to pay like 200 euros to retake that module, which is crazy, right? So at the end of the day, it will be done. So consequences. And one thing that I found out is the combination of deadlines and consequences is something crazy, bro. And at the end of the day, when you have a consequence, that's great. The reward is very clear. The reward is you don't have to repeat that module and you don't fail the class, right? So for you who may not know how to make a reward system for yourself, think about the consequence, bro. Like, the consequence is enough to make you move, dog. If you've been procrastinating, think about the consequence, bro. Maybe the consequence would be maybe you've been procrastinating on starting a business or your dream or whatever, bro. The consequence would be you living a life where you constantly need to escape from, like stuck in a 9-to-5 job. You'll be donkey, bro. You'll be donkey. Okay, so this video done and dusted. If you really want to go more into it, visit this page right here. Moisfearless. Very good page, bro. Like, this is what I be doing when I be scrolling on Instagram before bed. These types of videos, not the ones that you watch.
I don't know why you ever thought I could teach that class.
Oh, I knew you couldn't.
What? You set me up to fail? Why?
If you only do what you can do, you will never be more than you are now.
I don't want to be more. I like who I am.
You don't even know who you are.
What do you... Of course I do. I'm the Dragon Warrior.
And what exactly does that mean, Dragon Warrior?
I don't know why you ever thought I could teach...
I like who I am. I don't want to be more. That's what he's saying, which is crazy. And I'm not going to break that down, but I really thought about it because it's like, bro, at this age, it's sometimes I really think, okay, you know what? I'm really smart, bro. Like, I'll like get every bit of knowledge that I can out of everything that I can, because I try to learn from everything that I can. Then I look back at things like these, like when I was still young, and I'm like, man, I haven't always been having a smart brain or a sharp brain to catch everything, like little bits of knowledge that most people would miss. So when I look at this, it just shocks me, like, bro, Kung Fu Panda was spitting like this, which is crazy. So yeah, I might need to rewatch the classics. Then the last video right here, I'm not trying to make this video too long, just try to chill with you guys. But this guy, bro, I think I know this guy, but I forgot his name. Also, this video is by Coachingwithwill, so visit this page, it's also really good.
The best way to spot an idiot: look for the person who is cruel. Let me explain. When we see someone who doesn't look like us, or sound like us, or act like us, or love like us, or live like us.
Okay, so the main theme is look for somebody who is cruel.
The first thought that crosses almost everyone's brain is rooted in either fear or judgment, or both. That's evolution. We survived as a species by being suspicious of things that we aren't familiar with. In order to be kind, we have to shut down that animal instinct and force our brain to travel a different pathway. Empathy and compassion are evolved states of being. They require the mental capacity to step past our most primal urges. Cruelty is seen by some as an adroit cudgel to gain power. Empathy and kindness are considered weak. Many important people look at the vulnerable only as rungs on a ladder to the top. I'm here to tell you that when someone's path through this world is marked with acts of cruelty, they have failed the first test of an advanced society. They never forged new mental pathways to overcome their own instinctual fears. And so, their thinking and problem solving will lack the imagination and creativity that the kindest people have in spades. Over my many years in politics and business, I have found one thing to be universally true. The kindest person in the room is often the smartest. The best way to spot...
You know, that's actually crazy. I want to touch on this also because it's something that's really, that got me thinking. Because it's like, yeah, the people who are cruel, like they have failed to, like the first test of humanity, which is like to evolve like your brain, right? Because they can't see a path where it's like they win, but then without hurting or harming the other person. Whilst this sounds really good, what he said, most of it, 99% of people we see who are successful, bro, they've tramped over somebody, to be honest. So just be aware of that. That a lot of people you see have tramped over some other people. Maybe they caused another person to go bankrupt. Maybe they scammed somebody. Maybe they stole somebody's business, bro. Like, that's crazy, bro. So just be aware of that. And I think you've really touched on something that I truly believe in. It's like, bro, I will do anything to get successful. That's the honest truth. But as long as it doesn't harm, hurt, or violate another person, I will do anything to get successful. And you can see the way that I just talked about it off the top of my head. It's because it's something that I commonly and often and usually think about, bro. It's something that I think about every single day, bro. Like, I'm willing to do anything to get successful as long as it doesn't hurt, harm, or violate anyone else's rights, or just violate them. So I think that's a value that you should also adopt, bro. Be willing to do anything. Just don't harm, hurt, or violate anyone's rights or violate them. So yeah, bro, I've changed the format of the video to be something that's more like interesting, that I can show you like visually what I be talking about, right? So I think this is more interesting. Tell me if you like this style of video more. So I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, bro, send me like videos that you would want me to break down or react to or to explain, or somehow that we can just chill, bro, because I'm really into chilling these days. I don't really wanna like do too much, you know. We just come here to chill and relax and have fun. Welcome to the Dreamers Corps. Give your heart and the world is yours to conquer. Take care.